Good day, YouTube. My name is Dan, and welcome to another episode of Cryptolite. Today is the 1st of April, and as we always do at the start of the month, we will be covering our top picks for the month, coins that we think will see a positive price action in the coming month. This is not based on our personal preference, but based on roadmaps and upcoming events. To find out our top 3 picks for the month of April, keep watching this video. Our first pick for this month is Oyster. Oyster Protocol, for those who are not familiar with the project, is an ambitious blockchain project that aims to do 3 things. Firstly, it aims to create a robust data storage protocol. This is basically a decentralized cloud storage. For example, currently we use Google Drive or Dropbox, etc. to store and share our documents. But these clouds are centralized and owned by a company who can access our data anytime. Or they can also be hacked or shut down due to a malservice, and our information would be similarly lost or compromised. Oyster Protocol aims to create a decentralized cloud storage that cannot be hacked or controlled by external parties. The second thing that Oyster aims to do is to combat unwanted advertising on websites. They aim to do this by providing an alternate source of revenue where viewers on the website can lend a bit of the CPU and GPU to the website to contribute to the decentralized cloud server that was described above. The website gets paid for bringing new cloud users on board, and this contributes to the running of the cloud. This also removes the needs for ads and provides the viewers with an ad-free experience. The overall amount of CPU or GPU used is estimated to be even less than loading an ad. The third thing that Oyster aims to do is to create a low-cost encrypted internet access. Think of this like a cheap VPN that is not centralized operated but peer-to-peer decentralized operated. So where governments can pressure centralized VPN services to hand over their records, and this has happened to many big VPN companies in history, Oyster Protocol will provide a true encrypted internet access that cannot be traced or recorded. There are 2 major events happening for Oyster this month. The first is coming up in 5 days, and this is their airdrop for the Oyster Shell token. So up till now, Oyster has only had a single currency, which was the Pearl token, but starting from April the 6th, they will introduce a second currency called Shell. Think of it like Neo platform having both Neo and Gas. Similarly, Pearl tokens are the tokens that are pegged to the data retention, and this will be a stable currency. Shell, on the other hand, is the currency that they use for the day-to-day functioning of data transmission. Now, at this point, we do not know the actual token price of Shell when it's being released, but what we do know is that the airdrop will be a one-to-one drop, meaning you will get 1 Shell for every Pearl token that you hold. Also, because the ratio is a one-to-one ratio, this means that there cannot be more Shell than Pearl tokens. What this means is that currently the only way to get Shell tokens will be through this airdrop. There will not be a token sale. So Shell is going to be a commodity of high demand from the word go, and this suggests that the initial value of Shell shouldn't be too far from the Oyster token. If an airdrop is usually worth about 5% of the token held, of the token value held, and that would be considered a decent airdrop, this airdrop could potentially be worth 20 to 30% of the original Pearl token held. So that's a very significant amount of free money. So we think that this airdrop is going to attract a lot of attention. Now, usually the details of an airdrop will be released about 3 to 4 days before the actual event. We are now sitting about 5 days before the actual event, so it's likely this news is still under the radar of the general crypto population for just 1 to 2 more days, and we have a very short time frame to get ahead of the crowd if you wanted to. Over the past month, we saw big tokens like Neo, EOS, and Icon have airdrops, and every time each of these tokens had an airdrop, the token price rose 30 to 40% in the days approaching the airdrop, despite a bearish market. So we do think that there will be short-term gains in Oyster token over the next few days until the airdrop. A warning though is that there usually is a drop in the token price after the airdrop due to people dumping the coin to move back to their previous other tokens. So if you're thinking on jumping on this FOMO, make sure you monitor the market very closely to jump off ahead of the crowd. Another major event for Oyster this month is their mainnet release. So far, Oyster has been very on track in releasing their roadmap events like the testnet according to the expected date on the roadmap. So we certainly do expect them to be on track in releasing their mainnet this month as well. We don't actually have an actual date yet, but once it's announced, it's very likely that the price will surge as well. Now, a mainnet release is basically the biggest news for any protocol or platform project, and in this particular case, it is also the last event on their roadmap for 2018 to 2019 with an actual month or date attached to it. So we do expect them to make this mainnet release a very big deal. So for the above two reasons, we think that Oyster is a project to keep an eye out for in the month of April. We also think that now is a good time to jump and invest into Oyster if we were thinking of investing in this coin for this month. For each of our picks in this video, we will do a follow-up in-depth review in the coming month. Because Oyster's roadmap event is the soonest, basically 5 days away, we will do an in-depth review of Oyster either tomorrow or the day after. And if you were thinking of investing in this coin, we strongly recommend you watch that video as there is a potential red flag that we will raise which involves their CEO having an anonymous profile on their website. Our second coin to look out for this month is Lisk. Lisk is a sidechain and debt platform. To explain what this means, Lisk is different from almost every other blockchain platform in three ways. Firstly, it doesn't use smart contracts. We are so used to smart contracts in crypto space that we almost assume that every blockchain platform uses smart contracts. But rather than use smart contracts, Lisk enables every app that is built on it to build an entire custom-made blockchain instead of using a single blockchain protocol like smart contracts. The apps that are built on the Lisk platform are built on side chains rather than on the main chain. So traditional blockchain platforms like Ethereum builds all apps on their main blockchain. This also confines those projects to the mother platform's rules and adds heavy traffic to the platform. Lisk combats this by building every app on side chains, but this structure also has additional benefits, example, isolating faults in the system. We will discuss this further in our in-depth review on Lisk coming soon. Thirdly, Lisk uses JavaScript, the most common developer language in the world, instead of blockchain-specific language like Solidity that Ethereum, the biggest blockchain platform, currently uses. The end goal of Lisk is to be a decentralized app store. Example, in the world currently, we got iTunes App Store and Google Play App Store. This is trying to be something like that, except the decentralized version of this major app store. Now, historically, Lisk has received some flack in the past for being slow and unreliable in keeping to their roadmap. They have postponed several SDK events and even community meetups in the past. The most significant event they postponed was their rebranding that was due last November, but they postponed it to February of this year. Now, in November 2017, when the postpone was announced, their token price dropped 20% in 24 hours. The rebranding did happen on 20th of February this year, but unfortunately, it failed to lift the price up. In fact, the token price dropped by 10% the next day. To be fair, we do not think that Lisk deserves the blame for that particular price drop because the market was just tremendously bearish in that period, and it's actually not uncommon for prices to rise approaching a rebound and subsequently correct itself. However, we will acknowledge that as a project, Lisk has lost a lot of momentum in the first quarter of 2018 compared to the momentum that they had in the last quarter of 2017. Now, coming into April, this marks the beginning of the second quarter of 2018, and we are hoping that coming into the second quarter, Lisk will turn the corner and begin to gain the momentum that they need once again. To kick off the month, Lisk is having 3 community meetups within the first 10 days of April in Antonio, Ottawa, and Seattle. And also, just yesterday, Lisk announced that they have just launched the Lisk Cup 3.0 with several new updates. The most important event that is coming up this month is their beta testnet that is due to be launched in the first week of April. Now, at the relaunch on the 20th of February, it was announced by the team that their testnet core 1.0 would be released 4 to 6 weeks from the time of the relaunch. The first week of April marks the 6-week mark. So even though so far we passed the 4 weeks mark already, no news of testnet launch has been officially released. So understandably, this is making some of the community nervous, and a lot of the users have been posting in their social media asking when will the testnet be launched. There was a pinned Telegram message from the List HQ that was posted on Reddit as well, and it says that our current main development at the time is on the release of Core 1.0 beta. This is expected to be released on the first week of April. And then they go on to give some details about what that would include. But since this is an official pin post by the team on the Telegram, it gives us hope that Lisk will keep to the deadline and release news of their testnet soon. This will be a long-awaited news and also lead their first practical product launch. So we are hoping that together with the Lisk Cup as well as the community catch-ups that they're going to do, that it will begin to generate a lot of momentum at the start of the second quarter. Now, the general crypto community is still not aware of the potential testnet launch, so here there is a chance for us to be ahead of the game here. At the moment, Lisk is sitting at a token price of $7.58. At its all-time high, it was almost $35 less than 3 months ago. So it's really taken a very big beating, even more than the average other coin, and we think that it is due for a big rebound if it can time the good news with a general market recovery. A note of caution that we will input here is that while we see a chance of great gain in this investment, we also see the risk of significant loss if the team is unable to launch their testnet soon. Okay, if the team was to announce another delay in the roadmap, okay, I think a lot of its holders are just going to give up hope and just move on to other projects. And in fact, on the social media, people have said so clearly. So if that was to happen, the price would drop significantly. Our last coin that we are hopeful for in the month of April, and this is also my personal favorite out of the three that we're going to discuss today, is Cardano. Now, everyone knows Cardano. It's number 8 on the market cap currently. Cardano is a blockchain platform and the first platform to be built on research-driven approach, as well as the first to use a proof-of-stake approach. Currently, Cardano is sitting at a price of 14.9 cents, so it's just under 15 cents. At its all-time high, it was $1.36, so the current price is really only 11% of its high. This is almost a 90% discount. And the thing is, Cardano actually hasn't really done anything to account for this exaggerated fall, which is the biggest fall in the top 10 coins at the moment. Cardano still has a massive follower base who are very positive, meaning that as a project, it can build momentum very fast. The big news for Cardano this month is their Golden testnet launch. Now, on their roadmap, it does say that there is a Golden testnet launch, but the actual wordings used is that it will be launched around April. It doesn't actually state a specific date. Yet, there are several news articles as well as their own social media who point to a specific date as the 30th of April. Now, I don't actually know where this specific date comes across. My guess that it came from CoinMarketCal. CoinMarketCal is a website that tells you about the future events on every crypto project in the crypto space. But CoinMarketCal will automatically list the last date of the month if a specific date is not given. So I don't know how accurate this actual date of 30th of April will be. But I do have confidence in Cardano that if they announce that it will happen around April, it will happen around April, and we can hopefully expect good news coming sometime this month. Another major event for them that is coming up soon is that they are due to update their roadmap on the 5th of April in 4 days, 21 hours time. On their website, okay, there is actually a countdown timer as shown that shows the time to the next roadmap update, and they are very punctual with the updates. So we expect to find out then when the Golden testnet launch a specific date will be. For those who don't know Cardano well, Golden is the third major stage in the Cardano's roadmap, but involves the production of their virtual machine. Now, for this particular token, besides just the token price in the month of April, which is what this video is primarily about, we also think that Cardano is a good buy in general for the next few months. Not only is it a solid project with one of the best teams in the crypto space and one of the biggest communities around, there was a recent video update less than a month ago by Duncan Coates, who is their Director of Engineering, and he stated specifically, throughout the second quarter and third quarter of 2018, the features of Shelly will be released, starting with delegation and stake-proof testnets. Shelly is their second stage of development, which involves the decentralization of the project. So we think that this news is going to be massive because the crypto space at the moment is very big on proof of stake, because proof of stake offers passive income to the token holder. And Cardano is a top 10 coin who is also the first project to design proof of stake, and is expected at this point in time that their proof of stake return in the first year is going to be better than Dash, which is already higher than Neo. Now, for those who are very big on proof of stake in the crypto space, you will know that Neo is the current hot favorite for staking. Lots and lots of people, including myself, have bought Neo because you can stake Neo for free gas. Now, Neo's current price at $50 is very low, but it's just under 1/3 of its all-time high, which was 165, meaning that Neo is just sitting around the 30% of its all-time high. Cardano, as we mentioned earlier, is sitting at around 10% of its all-time high. So that's a 3 times discount compared to Neo's current price. And its expected staking rewards are also expected to be more than Neo. So if the staking profits are anywhere as rumored, then when the news is released later this month, or sometime this quarter, I think that it's very likely that Cardano will see a surge in popularity and a lot of people will be rushing to buy Cardano. The market might tank a little bit more from here. It might go up. I don't really know in terms of the general market condition. But personally, I think that Cardano is an awesome buying price. And in the medium term, so not even long term of years, just in the medium term over the next few months to the end of this year, I do expect it to recover to a much higher price than its current price. And I'm personally seriously consider getting into Cardano soon. So those are my thoughts about the top coins to look out for in April. Again, we will be doing an in-depth review on each of these coins, the 3 that we've recommended, starting with the Oyster protocol over the next couple of days. So if you are thinking of investing into these coins or just want to learn more about them, make sure you catch those videos. If you like this video or found it helpful, do give us a like and a subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future content. As a disclaimer, I'm not a financial professional and this is not financial advice, just me sharing with you my thoughts on my own personal crypto journey. Also, always do your own research and make your own decisions, and remember that crypto investments are always high-risk investments, especially in the current times. So only invest what you can afford to lose. Alright guys, have an awesome 1st of April and we will catch you tomorrow.